Commander Zektar flexed his four-fingered hands as the final encryption barrier dissolved before him. The primitive human network had taken his cyber warfare division 3 rotations to crack, but now the entirety of Earth's digital infrastructure lay exposed. The hegemony's invasion fleet hung in the outer system, waiting for his signal. Pathetic, Zektar chittered to his subordinate, Lieutenant Vexnil. Their security protocols are centuries behind our technology. It's almost insulting that the Council considers these bipeds a threat. The holographic displays around them flickered with terabytes of human data streaming past. Military communications, government secrets, financial networks, personal files. Everything the hegemony needed to subjugate another primitive world. Vexenil's mandibles clicked nervously. "Sir, should we begin the data extraction for the invasion algorithms?" "Yes. Start with their military networks. Let's see what pathetic weapons these humans think will protect them." Zektar's eyes gleamed with predatory satisfaction as he initiated the deep scan protocols. The first anomaly appeared 17 minutes later. "Sir," Vexnil's voice carried a note of confusion, "I'm detecting some unusual data structures in their civilian networks. They appear to be games?" "Games?" Zektar's attention sharpened. In hegemony culture, strategic simulations were reserved for military training. Civilians had no access to such tools. "Yes, sir. Millions of them. Complex tactical simulations, resource management scenarios, strategic warfare programs. And, sir..." Vexenil paused, his voice dropping to a whisper. "The participation rates are extraordinary. Hundreds of millions of humans engage with these regularly." Zektar felt the first stirring of unease. "Show me." The holographic display shifted, revealing the scope of human gaming networks. Real-time strategy games where players commanded armies of thousands. Tactical shooters requiring split-second decision-making under pressure. Complex economic simulations spanning virtual centuries. Multiplayer environments where strangers coordinated. Massive, intricate operations across continents. "This can't be correct," Zektar muttered, but the data streams confirmed it. Human children, their offspring, were casually mastering strategic concepts that took hegemony military officers years to learn. Then the second anomaly appeared. "Sir, I'm detecting massive collaborative networks. They call them open-source projects." Vexnil's mandibles were now clicking rapidly, a sign of extreme agitation. Thousands of humans working together voluntarily, sharing complex technical knowledge freely, building sophisticated systems without central authority. Zektar watched in growing alarm as the data revealed humanity's collaborative capabilities. Humans were spontaneously organizing into vast networks of cooperation, creating technologies, solving problems, and sharing solutions across their entire species. They did this not under threat or coercion, but for the simple satisfaction of achievement and knowledge. The third anomaly shattered his worldview entirely. "Sir," Vexenil's voice cracked with panic, "they're entertainment networks. They're not just consuming content, they're creating it. Billions of individual humans producing literature, art, music, videos. They're generating culture at an unprecedented rate." The scope was incomprehensible. While hegemony culture remained static for millennia, carefully controlled by the ruling caste, humans were in a constant state of creative explosion. Every day, millions of new ideas, stories, innovations, and artistic expressions emerged from their collective consciousness. But it was the fourth discovery that made Zektar's blood run cold. Deep in the human networks, past the entertainment, and collaboration platforms past the games and social structures, he found the archives, the records of what humans called history. "Vexenil," his voice was barely a whisper. "Are you seeing this?" The lieutenant nodded, his exoskeleton pale with fear. They were looking at documentation of humanity's conflicts, not with alien invaders, but with themselves. Wars that spanned years, decades, centuries. Humans fighting humans with strategies, technologies, and determination that exceeded anything in hegemony military doctrine. And they had survived it all. Not just survived, they had learned from it, grown stronger, developed technologies that could reshape worlds. The same species that created art for joy and collaborated freely had also perfected the art of warfare through millennia of practice against equally clever, equally determined opponents. Zektar stared at the data streams flowing past: nuclear, weapons, biological warfare, cyber attacks, psychological operations, asymmetric conflicts, guerrilla tactics. Humans had invented, perfected, and then often abandoned weapons technologies as they developed even more sophisticated ones. They had fought themselves with everything from primitive clubs to weapons that could crack planets, and somehow maintained enough civilization to build the very networks Zektar was now observing. The final piece of the puzzle clicked into place when he accessed their fiction archives. Thousands of stories about alien invasion, most written decades or centuries before any real contact. Humans had imagined every possible scenario, developed countermeasures for threats that didn't yet exist, and shared these scenarios as entertainment. They had been preparing for the hegemony's arrival since before they knew the hegemony existed. "Sir," Vexenil's voice was barely audible, "what are your orders?" Zektar stared at the data for a long moment, then slowly reached for his communication array. "Fleet Command, this is Intelligence Division. Abort invasion protocol immediately." "Repeat, abort invasion protocol," acknowledged Intelligence. "Reason for abort?" Zektar looked at the screen showing humanity's vast networks of creativity, collaboration, strategic thinking, and controlled violence. He thought about a species that had spent thousands of years fighting itself and somehow emerged stronger, more innovative, and more united. "Target species is not suitable for conquest," he replied. "Recommend immediate withdrawal to minimum safe distance and initiation of diplomatic protocols." As the hegemony fleet began its retreat, Zektar couldn't shake one final thought. They hadn't just hacked humanity's networks, they had been allowed in. Somewhere in those vast digital archives, some human programmer had probably anticipated this exact scenario decades ago. The humans had been ready for them before they'd even decided to come.